What's going on, everyone? It's Omar here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about what's the cheapest way to get started as a barber. Now, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I first started cutting hair, I was 15 years old. I didn't have a job yet, so there was no way I was going to be able to afford these $100 clippers. I ended up actually having to get a job just to be able to buy my first clippers, which made the process take a little longer, but I'm gonna tell you guys what's a cheap way to start, and I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys everything from like clippers to like your blades, a little setup that you guys can start with. So let's start this off. First thing, for your first actual clipper, like your hair cutting clipper, I know that you guys might get overwhelmed. There's Andis, Masters, there's Wahl Seniors, and you look at the prices, and especially cordless, you kind of start freaking out a bit. But I would probably recommend to you guys the Wahl Elite kit. And the reason I'm recommending this one is because it's the clipper, it's got a taper lever on there so you can easily fade with it. My brother owns a pair, and I can actually do a perfect skin fade with them, a perfect blot. I can do anything with these clippers. And the plus on these is that it comes with some shears. They might not be the best, but keep in mind you're starting off. It comes with I think a comb, but most importantly, it comes with all the guards, and they're your Wahl premium guards that you can't go wrong with. So down the road, if you do start making a little bit of money and you want to swap over to some Wahl Seniors or some cordless magic clips, these guards will fit on those. The guards themselves go for $30 or so themselves, and this actual setup goes for 40 to 50 bucks, so it's a no-brainer. Real good clipper, I recommend it highly, so go ahead and check that one out. After obviously your clipper, you want to go into your edgers, right? So with your edgers, just like anything, you have options. If you're super duper tight on money, I would recommend that you go with the Andis T outliner, and it's cheaper. Keep in mind with everything, I'm gonna go ahead and I looked up all these stuffs for you guys on Amazon or just shopping where you get it the cheapest, and I'll go ahead and drop the link in the description. Make sure you guys check that out. But the Andis T outliner, they're really good clippers, but if you could afford to spend like a couple extra bucks, I would recommend the Andis Slimline Pro Li. And the reason is, whenever you're first starting off, you might not know how to adjust your blade, let alone adjust your tension screw. Tension screw is very important when you're doing a skin fade, especially if you're using them to remove bulk. So if you're trying to skin out with the Andis T outliner and your tension screw's not set right, what's gonna end up happening, you're gonna start pulling the hair. Clients do not like that. And you'll sit there trying to adjust this, and it's happened to me even now, where you'll sit there for an hour or two trying to get it, and it just throws you off, especially in the middle of a haircut. Now the Andis Slimline Pro Li, they don't actually have that tension screw to where you could adjust straight out of the box. Even if they're not zero gap, you can run straight through hair and it'll cut it off, which is why I recommend as a beginning barber, go through that, and then eventually once you start figuring out how to tweak things, you go back to that or your GTX, which is what I use. So those are your two main clippers, and obviously that's what I recommend. Now when it comes to a shaver, I know you guys might see me using the bronze shaver, the Series 9. And a really good shaver, $300 shaver though. Do you guys need that, especially starting? No. They have a bunch of cheap shavers out there like Remington's, a couple different brands. I would probably recommend that you guys go with the Andis Pro Foil. Very similar to the Wahl shaver. The only reason why I would recommend the Andis over the Wahl, I've owned both through like my past years of cutting hair, is the Andis shaver. The head actually seems to last a lot longer, where the Wahl cuts really, really good. After 2 or 3 weeks, it starts doling out on you depending on how much hair you're cutting, where I feel like the Andis last a lot longer. And also, whenever you're fading, you could actually flip the Andis upside down and kind of flick out that line easier, to where the Wahl, you're kind of going up and down, trying to figure it out. Especially when you're first starting, it's a lot harder. I mean, even for me now, it's a lot easier for me to just grab the Andis, flip it upside down, and just flick that line out, which is why I would recommend that one. Let's see, after that, those are your three main things. As far as a blade goes, I know you guys are gonna see some cool blades out there, right? Like it has the exposed blade, straight razor. It's a red, it's a neon yellow, and they look awesome. And don't get me wrong, 20, 30 bucks, if you got the money, by all means, go for it. But I'm trying to save you guys some money here, and if I'm being completely honest, you could buy yourself like the Diane straight blade holder, whatever. It's like $5, and it gets the job done exactly the same as you would with the other ones. If you guys want it to be exposed, I can make a video on how it's all about how you set the blade in there. Literally just set it on the 2 prongs and it'll stick out just like you would with any of these $20, $30 blade holders. And then as far as the actual blades, for those go, you could pretty much I use the Dorco Red Blaze. I think I get 100 of them for like $10, which is pretty cheap, so I'd probably go with that. Now, as far as like anything else, like neck duster, your cape, just a bunch of like combs and stuff, I'm sure you guys can find those like on Amazon anywhere. I'm sure you can find expensive stuff, but I would probably recommend you guys go down to your local beauty supply store and go ahead and cop some of the stuff they got there. Sally's is great, don't get me wrong, but if you actually walk into Sally's and you compare the price of like for example, their Andis Master, it's like 100 and something, and then you go look at the same thing on Amazon, you'll see how bad you're getting ripped off. But your local beauty supply stores, they want your business, so you know they're trying to go as cheap as they can. So make sure you go in there, you support your local place. You'll be stopping by there if you continue to be cutting hair for a while. And what I've learned is the more money you spend there, the more they're willing to help you guys out. So go ahead and check that out. One thing that I did want to touch on is if you're just cutting one person a day, or if you're cutting 20 people a day, please invest in a Barbicide jar and Barbicide, because whenever you're cutting hair, and you'll learn this as you go through barber school and stuff, it's so easy to infect somebody with something. So even if, for example, you're cutting only your hair and your little brother's, and you cut up your little brother who might have ringworm and you don't even know it, you don't clean your clippers or you don't sanitize your guards, and then you go and you try to give yourself a taper, you're gonna infect yourself, and it's prone to happen with like anything out there. So just make sure you're using that Barbicide. There's a bunch of videos out there. I might make a video down the road on how to use it. Just make sure you're cleaning your clippers, cleaning your combs, brushes, even your neck duster. Just make sure you're taking care of all of that, because you don't want to be spreading any of this nasty stuff out there. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. And one thing that I did want to say before we end this video is, like I said, when I first started cutting hair, I think I went to the store and I tried to buy some fast feeds. I wanted to buy obviously the Masters. I wanted the most expensive GTX. I wanted to spend that $30 gold looking razor. And I wanted all these things, and I was broke as heck. I couldn't afford it. So then I started going through and I'd be like, oh, you know, maybe I'll try this for now, this for now. And I started cheap. And yeah, I didn't have the best setup or anything, and I started charging, I think it was like $5. I was messing people up left and right, but I kept that money that I was making, I just kept reinvesting it into myself, reinvesting it. So just start cheap. This stuff will get you through for now, and eventually the better you get, you'll start making more money and you'll be able to reinvest in yourself. So don't be scared to buy some of these things. You're like, oh, they're too cheap, they're not the best stuff out there. Go ahead and start small, and eventually you'll be able to be spending $200 on a clipper. So again, like I said, this is a video that I wish, you know, somebody would have made for me when I first started, and it would have saved me a lot of time and stuff. So go ahead and try these out. And if you guys have any more questions on any other things, go ahead and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know on any other thing I can help you guys with. Thank you for watching. Alright, what's going on, everyone? Omar here, back. Alright, what's going on, Omar?